What's up, everybody? Welcome back to My Twisted Lyf TV. I am Poetry. You are here for another edition of PNTV. That's Poetry's News and Twisted Views, the late night edition. Because normally I get this to y'all in the daytime, but we're going to give it to y'all later on tonight. I got my bed head going on. I'm a little bit tired, but we're going to push through this because I wanted to give y'all some news and some entertainment news of what's going on in the TV world. I got my birthday t-shirt on, y'all. My Black Girl Magic. Yeah, it's Black Girl. I'm rocking my Black Girl Magic t-shirt. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's one of my birthday gifts that I got. If y'all missed my birthday stream, y'all can go back and watch that. It is posted. Y'all can join in on the fun, even though it's over with, okay? So my notes are all over the place right now. I'm gonna let you know because I did not organize it. I just wanted to get on here and just talk a little bit. There's a lot of frustration going on these days with the George Floyd murder, all the protests that's been going on. There's a lot of frustration. And one person who seems to be more frustrated than anybody is rapper Trina.
6 a.m. and will be enforced until Gimenez lifts the order. They need to make the curfew at 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's how I feel.
No.
Keep everybody off the streets, these animals off the streets that are running around in Miami-Dade County acting like they have escaped from a zoo. Lock them up at 5 p.m. so the streets can be nice and clean. That's how I feel.
What the streets got to do with the people's lives? You got money.
We're not talking about the lives. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about the lives. We're not talking about that.
You got money.
Yeah.
These people got to go to work. These people been on lockdown.
I've been on lockdown too.
Okay. You've been on lockdown.
I've been on lockdown just like them.
Yeah, these people ain't been working.
Okay.
They about
Unfortunately, a lot of people don't have jobs. I agree with that.
And they're about to lose their mind.
We all about to lose our mind.
And just because one person.
They run. So today their minds are all back. Everybody's minds is back today good? Because the weekend it was they back good, okay?
They mind. One day they gonna get their mind clear. But it'll help.
Oh, okay.
That's starting somewhere.
Okay, that's cool.
That's starting somewhere.
And that means tear up
Ain't nobody.
That means tear up our city.
Ain't nobody tear up no city.
That means tear up our. That means run through and tear up our stores and burn down our stuff and break in our stores and go and tear up Bayside Marketplace and tear up my friend's shop that has a son and a kid to take care of her family. You go demolish the shop for something?
It's always personal with you.
It's definitely personal. It's definitely personal because I feel like at the end of the day,
your friend got insurance.
She got insurance, but she's also been locked down for 60 days, also like us, and she also don't have money like me. So I don't approve of it, period.
Okay.
I don't approve of it, period.
I don't either, but
because you don't want nobody burning down Sundays. Let's be very clear.
But
okay, and you have insurance. But you don't want that. You don't want to be snaked back from ribs and collard greens. Let's be very clear. Yeah.
Bring back.
We can't bring back anything. We can't bring back nobody's lives that has been taken away, whether it was from the police or in the hands of another civilian. We cannot bring them back. We cannot. We cannot bring them back. You cannot pump life back into them at all. I can't bring back my little brother's life. His life was taken by the hands of a man, a black man. I can't bring his life back. So what are you saying? Let's be back. Because I'm ready today. Today, I'm ready today. I am ready today, Miami. Today.
In her Twitter rant about the protest, she decided to call our people, our fighters, our activists, our revolutionaries in the streets, and even some people who are so angry that they are going a little bit outside of the law. I'm gonna put it that way. She decides to call all of us animals. So we need to get these animals off the street. Okay, so of course, Black Twitter told her a new asshole. A few celebrities told her a new asshole, as they should. Now, I don't understand why a lot of y'all out here surprised at Trina's reaction or Trina's comments. This bitch ain't never been for us. She ain't never been for us by us, ever. Just as a prime example, when Love and Hip Hop Miami came out, there was incidents concerning the girl Vega. I forgot what her first name was. I didn't like her. Veronica Vega. Using the N-word in her songs, especially in the song that she did with Trina, and how Trina sugarcoated that whole conversation to make it okay and to be understanding of why Vega will be using the N-word. Yeah, I had, before that episode, I had already lost respect for Trina. But that episode solidified it for me. She already let me know that she ain't down for the cause. She ain't down for the people. She fakes it. And she fakes it well. And y'all still out here caping for her. I ain't never been. The baddest bitch is a badass fool. That's what the fuck she is. She's a damn fool. I can't even call her an educated fool. We just gonna leave it at that. So yeah, you know, but she came back yesterday and tried to explain away her words. First, it was taken out of context. You know, she didn't mean what she said. No, sis. You say what you mean and you mean what you say. I mean, that's what you always popping off at. I ain't never fake. I ain't never fake. I say what I mean. I mean what I say. I'm about mine. You meant that. You meant that, Miss Trina girl. You meant it. Now she's saying that she was just frustrated. Frustrated. The frustration made her call the people protesting, the activists, the people on the street. The protesting made her frustrated to the point that she mistakenly called us animals. Trina girl. That's all I got to say about her right there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so many different things going on where people are. It's amazing that so many people out here are willing to bitch about buildings being burnt down, bitch about streets being blocked, bitch about Target, being looted or what have you, but they not bitching about the fact that the police are taking lives against the law. They are being unaccountable for their actions. They not bitched about that shit. They real silent when it comes to that shit. But we had a few people or organizations out there who weren't silent. Speaking of Target was the first one to put out a statement saying, fuck that building. I got insurance. What matters is the lives that have been lost at the hands of police. The black lives that have been lost due to injustice and inequality. That's what mattered. But people still, they mad about Target and the owner ain't. You know what I'm saying? We also had places like Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon decided to do a blackout. And I think a lot of people didn't understand what the fuck Blackout Tuesday was supposed to be. This was really about networks and major businesses for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, the time in which George Floyd was held down on the ground and murdered. They were going to block out their networks for 8 minutes and 46 seconds on Tuesday. I remember Nickelodeon posting it, and then once Nickelodeon posted, a few others got on board, and then I remember Rihanna and a few other people decided to say, fuck it, we ain't gonna sell no products. We not gonna sell nothing. Don't y'all come to my site and buy nothing, because if you try, the site gonna be down. A lot of networks went off the air. Nickelodeon went off the air. I want to say you couldn't log on to Instagram for a while. A lot of sites you could not access during the 8 minutes and 46 seconds. But a lot of people, a lot of uninformed people thought the blackout mean that we were supposed to stay off social media on that day. So they made the campaign blackout social media, and you put these black squares up. But that was not the initial purpose. It was for these major networks and major businesses to not earn any revenue or not broadcast any shows for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. That was the initial purpose of the blackout. But it became a whole little black square on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and people ran with that. The problem that I had with the blackout, with the black squares and telling people to stay off social media for this particular day, I think they're going to do another blackout in July. And we were voting on that day, and you telling people to black out their voice. That's how I felt about it. You were telling people to be silent for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, not to voice their frustration, and black out the social medias for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, when this is a time for us to be pushing people to vote for us to get our voices heard with the politicians. It's not a time to be quiet. We've been quiet and silent too long. So I didn't participate in the blackout. Y'all didn't see my profiles go black. Y'all didn't see me stop talking. I was communicating everything. You know what I'm saying? I did not participate. I know there were some people who did and some people who felt that the blackout was necessary. But for me and mine, we didn't do that over here. Now, when The Walking Dead, I'm gonna try to quote y'all some of these things that was said during us by these broadcasters. And it started off with, like I said, with Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon said, Nickelodeon is going off the air for 8 minutes and 46 seconds in support of justice, equality, and human rights. You have the right to be seen, heard, and respected as citizens of the world. You have the right to a world that is peaceful. You have a right to be treated with equality regardless of your skin color. You have a right to be protected from harm, injustice, and hatred. You have the right to an education that prepares you to run the world. You have a right to your opinions and your feelings even when others don't agree with them. That's the message that they had on their screen during their blackout. So basically they went off the air and that's all you see. Remember when we was little and TV went off the air and then you got Ray Charles singing America the Beautiful, and all of a sudden you got the colored lines and yeah, Nickelodeon went off the air and they left that message planted there on their screen. 8 minutes and 46 seconds. And then you saw a whole lot of people on network. OWN Network is committed to our audience, the ability to see themselves. Today we see you, we hear you, we feel you. We too are sad, angry, and disheartened, but we will neither despair nor be defeated. We lift our voices in solidarity with you in the cry for justice for George Floyd, #Black Lives Matter. Now, a lot of these people I say were jumping on the bandwagon. NBC, we stand with our black employees, colleagues, partners, and creators in outrage and acts of racism. And who else? Netflix had made a statement in regards to standing in equality, standing with the protests. And then Hulu was like, I see you, got you. So after a while, you saw a whole lot of bandwagoners just jumping on board. Hulu was one of the ones that jumped on board. NBC jumped on board. A lot of doggone organizations jumped on board. Whether or not they were truly committed, I'm not certain. But I did see one that was so precise. The murder of George Floyd was the result of inhumane police brutality that's perpetrated by a culture of white supremacy. What happened to George Floyd was not the result of a bad apple. It was a predictable consequence of a racist and prejudiced system and culture that has treated black bodies as an enemy from the beginning. What happened to George Floyd in Minneapolis is the fruit born of toxic seeds planted on the shores of our country in Jamestown, 1619, when the first enslaved men and women arrived on this continent. Floyd is the latest in a long list of names that stretches back to that time and that shore. Some of those names we know: Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Oscar Grant, Eric Gardner, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Emmett Till, Martin Luther King Jr., and most we don't. This was one of the most profound statements that I saw put out by a network or shared by a network and with their name attached to it. I was rocking with them when they did that. Now, The Walking Dead, they got so much backlash. They got a lot of backlash. So they put out this statement in response to their backlash. It says, it looks like we lost a few followers after posting about Black Lives Matter. We hope those who are left educate themselves on the vital racial issues and learn to stand alongside their black neighbors. The Walking Dead family prides itself on its diversity. And if you want to leave over this, deuces. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Black Lives Matter. Hashtag that shit. They sure did. I was like, well, go ahead on, Walking Dead. Well, go ahead on. So like I said, there's been a whole lot of shit popping off in regards to the protests and things of that nature. And let me go back to the beginning of my notes. I know that there were a lot of things being canceled due to the protests. The movie The High Note, they were supposed to have a Twitter watch event, and they canceled their Twitter watch event, stating that they canceled them due to horrific events of the past week, meaning the George Floyd murder and protest. I guess they figured that everybody was going to be out in the streets protesting, so they didn't want to take that chance. Or it was possible that because Ice Cube was on his social media networks blowing shit up with his conversations about the protests and in support of the protests, that it's possible they just didn't want to connect the dots to that movie, because they still showed it. They still aired it on March 29th, and Poetry did not watch. But let me tell you why I did not watch. I have a friend that works for the paper in St. Louis, and he got to go see it for free. And he tells me that Ice Cube was in the movie a total of 9 minutes and 47 seconds. Tracy Ellis Ross was in the movie for a total of 35 minutes. Now, I told y'all when I wanted to see the movie, The High Note, those were the two reasons, Ice Cube especially, even though he ain't that good of an actor, but those were the two reasons that I wanted to see this movie, The High Note, because of Tracy Ellis Ross and Ice Cube. And he was in the movie for 10 minutes total. She was in the movie for 35 minutes total. The remainder of the movie was about the intern who was helping Tracy Ellis Ross. I didn't give a fuck about her. I wasn't interested in her one iota. Not nan time. None. And then they had the audacity to charge $19 motherfucking $99 to watch this movie on a streaming site. $19.99. Any movie I watch on the streaming site got to be $9.99 or under. Now, somebody had told me before that Body Cam, the movie with Mary J. Blige in it, was $12.99, and I was on the fence about whether I was going to watch it. No, honey, I watched Body Cam for $7.99 on Amazon Prime, honey. Okay, I did watch it. So, speaking of movies, let me go ahead and just get to the movies. This past week, I've been on vacation. I just been watching shit. Watching movies, watching TV shows. I watched a movie called Underwater. I got to see that on Amazon Prime. This movie was starring Kristen Stewart, the girl who's in Twilight, about a submarine that they got trapped underwater, 8,000 leagues under the sea, because of a supposed earthquake. And the whole movie is about them trying to get out of this submarine, and make it back to the surface to safety. And there's something in the water that they didn't know that was there. And this brings on the fight for their life to get to the final destination. It was actually a good movie. Y'all know I'm not good in horror movies, but this was a thriller. I jumped at least 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. I'm going to tell you that right now. It was a pretty good movie. It's fast paced. It kept it going. I liked the Underwater. The movie The Body Cam with Mary J. Blige. I did watch it. Body Cam. Mary J. Blige. No, she cannot act. She still can't act. She's very dry in her delivery. The only emotion that she showed is when she frowned her eyebrows. You know how Kerry Washington acts with her teeth? Mary J. Blige acts with her eyebrows. That's it. But other than that, nothing else about her delivery was good. However, the movie was entertaining enough for me to watch it the whole way too. It was a bit confusing. And this was a thriller. Kind of had a supernatural Candyman type of feel to it. It was a lot of unanswered questions. Who else was in it? What is her name? I always mess it up. Princess Frog, Anika Noni Rose. Yes, she was in it, but I didn't know she was in it for a long damn time. But with the scenes when they had the thrill moments, the moments that made you want to jump, I jumped out of my fucking skin. I did. So Body Cam was an interesting movie. I'm not gonna tell y'all not to go see it. But like I said, I saw it on Amazon Prime for $7.99, and check it out. You know, Mary J. Blige still can't act, but still, it was all right. It wasn't bad. I also watched Hotel Artemis. I think this came out last year, or the beginning of this year, maybe 2 years ago. This was like a hospital for criminals. Sterling K. Brown was in it. Who else was in it? It was 2 other well-known actors that I can't remember their name right off the top of my head right now. Why can't I remember nobody's name? It's late. This is the late night edition of PNTV. But it started off real slow. But when it got to the fight scenes, Paperboy, he was in it. When it got to the fight scenes, it was really good. And it turned out to, by the time it ended, it turned out to be a well acted movie with some good action scenes, some good fight scenes. Sterling K. Brown did his damn thing. I'm telling you, he did his damn thing in that one. So yeah, it was kind of dystopian future. It happened in 2028 or something like that. The girl in this movie kicked ass left, right, up and down. Baby, I love to see a strong female character who is badass. She was badassery. I'm saying she wore it on her like what? I love that. So Hotel Artemis, you can check that out. You can watch that for free on Amazon Prime if you have it. Movies I rejected this week. Everybody and their mama told me to watch The Wrong Missy. Said that shit was going to be hilarious. The Wrong Missy got on my nerves. I have grown up to the point that slapstick comedy does no longer do it for me. Stuff like The Hangover, and I don't like it. It's not like back in the day when Police Academy came out. You know, they had that slapstick type comedy. It was kind of over the top, a little bit, you know, vulgar at times. But I laughed at those. This new age shit, no. The Wrong Missy got on my fucking nerves. And I like David Spade. I said David Allen Spade. I'm mixing his name up with David Allen Greer. David Spade. I like him as an actor. This was a Happy Gilmore production, which is basically, what the heck is that name? Adam Sandler's. It's his production. But it was just too much. Her character was just too much for me. Like her motherfucking her got into the wine glass and she decided to drink the wine out of her. You know, it just, I couldn't do her. I couldn't do it. It was just too much. So no, I didn't like The Wrong Missy. I wouldn't recommend nobody to see that shit either. Like I said, I canceled The High Note because of, I wouldn't even pay no $20 for that bullshit. First of all, I don't think Tracy Ellis Ross could sing that good. She can carry a note a little bit, but no, And the fact that she wasn't even in the movie for longer than 35 minutes and Q wasn't in it for longer than 10 minutes, no. High Note did not get watched this particular weekend. Recommendations. Y'all recommended to me to watch this TV show called Elite. Okay, I call myself gonna catch one episode of Elite. I'm gonna let y'all know I'm hooked on it. But Elite is not a show that I would want to review. It's not a show that I want to review because I have to look at these characters as adults, and they're not. They're supposed to be 16-year-old teenagers, and I think the roles of these characters, how the roles that they are portraying, is too adult for teenagers. I mean, they do still mix a lot of teen-related issues in to the storyline. But overall, the subject matter, I think, is too grown for teenagers. They doing coke. They doing drugs like it's candy. And they doing cuckolds. If you don't know what a cuckold is, that's when a man and a woman get together, have sex in front of the girl's boyfriend or husband, and the boyfriend sometimes join in. And it's usually a black dude, but in this particular case, well, not usually. A lot of times in porn, it's usually black dudes, but they do cuckolds with just like the same race. And these are teenagers, 16-year-olds doing this cuckold. They are committing murders. They doing embezzlement, blackmailing. They exuding political power. They got pulled with the embassy. There's incest that don't nobody think is wrong. They having affairs with this one girl is having an affair with two brothers. Somebody got HIV and having unprotected sex. It's prostitution. There's so much going on this show, but it keeps you hooked. It's another show based in Spain. A couple of the characters that was in Money Heist and in the TV show Locked Up that I recommended to y'all, they're actually in this show. But what it reminds me of is How to Get Away with Murder. The way that the storylines evolve and how each season connects. It's continuous story being driven by an initial murder that happened, and you don't even know who the person that got killed until like maybe the second or third episode. So it reminds me of how to Get Away with Murder is set up, and however, it's like a more grown-up version of How to Get Away with Murder to me. But the teenagers are the main characters, but it's still a good watch. So, but no, I wouldn't review that, y'all. I wouldn't review it. What else? Blood and Water recaps. They gonna start soon. I'll probably put the first one probably tomorrow or Sunday, but Blood and Water recaps will begin soon. I also watched a movie called Love Jack. on Netflix. It was pretty funny. It's kind of typical where, you know, somebody got to bring home a guy to pretend that that's her husband or her boyfriend so the family won't trip. But it has a good comedic spin to it. Stephan James, his older brother, is the main character. He is so fine with his chocolate self, just fine as he could be. Whew. Okay. So that was something that I recommend. That's on Netflix. There's a movie called Fury. It's a martial arts movie. They have two on Netflix. One is a martial arts movie and one is about a white girl. And I want to say they have the same storyline, but the martial arts one, the Vietnamese character, the Vietnamese based one, that looks so good because the martial arts, I love martial arts. She is whooping ass. I told y'all I love a strong female that can whoop some ass. She is whooping ass. They basically try to steal her daughter. I don't know who tried to steal it because, like I said, I didn't watch nothing but the trailer yet. And from the first time they try to grab her daughter and she goes after them, she whooping ass. They trying to get her. They sticking her and moving her and punching her nose, and she fucking them up. So if y'all want to check out Fury, that's Furie. It's on Netflix for free to watch. Now I remember there was rumors about Dumb Donald creating a space program, and he was going to call it Space Force. You know, that's going to be separate from NASA. Now I have never researched it to find out if that is true, but I do know that there's a movie on Netflix called Space Force. It's supposed to be a parody of Dumb Donald's administration and his ideas with NASA and where he's going to go into space. I haven't watched it yet, but I am going to check it out, and I'll come back and let you know. Like I say, I hope it's not too over the top slapstick comedy that I don't have that I can't deal with it. So yeah, I canceled that shit off my list of things to watch. Recommendations. Y'all recommended to me to watch this TV show called Elite. Okay, call myself gonna catch one episode of Elite. I'm gonna let y'all know I'm hooked on it. But Elite is not a show that I would want to review. It's not a show that I want to review because I have to look at these characters as adults, and they're not. They're supposed to be 16-year-old teenagers, and I think the roles of these characters, how the roles that they are portraying, is too adult for teenagers. I mean, they do still mix a lot of teen-related issues in to the storyline, but overall, the subject matter I think is too grown for teenagers. They doing coke. They doing drugs like it's candy, and they doing cuckolds. If you don't know what a cuckold is, that's when a man and a woman get together, have sex in front of the girl's boyfriend or husband, and the boyfriend sometimes join in, and it's usually a black dude. But in this particular cases, well, not usually, a lot of times in porn it's usually black dudes, but they do cuckolds with just like the same race. And these are teenagers, 16-year-olds doing this cuckold. They are committing murders, they doing embezzlement, blackmailing, they exuding political power. They got pulled with the embassy. There's incest that don't nobody think is wrong. They having affairs with this one girl that's having an affair with two brothers. Somebody got HIV and having unprotected sex. It's prostitution. There's so much going on this show, but it keeps you hooked. It's another show based in Spain. A couple of the characters that was in Money Heist and in the TV show Locked Up that I recommended to y'all, they are actually in this show. But what it reminds me of is How to Get Away with Murder. The way that the storylines evolve and how each season connects. It's continuous story being driven by an initial murder that happened, and you don't even know who the person that got killed until like maybe the second or third episode. So it reminds me of how to Get Away with Murder is set up, and however, it's like a more grown-up version of How to Get Away with Murder to me. But the teenagers are the main characters, but it's still a good watch. So, but no, I wouldn't review that, y'all. I wouldn't review it. What else? Blood and Water recaps. They gonna start soon. I'll probably put the first one probably tomorrow or Sunday, but Blood and Water recaps will begin soon. I also watched a movie called Love Jack on Netflix. It was pretty funny. It's kind of typical where, you know, somebody got to bring home a guy to pretend that that's her husband or her boyfriend so the family won't trip, but it has a good comedic spin to it. Stephan James, his older brother, is the main character. He is so fine with his chocolate self, just fine as he could be. Whew. Okay. So that was something that I recommend. That's on Netflix. There's a movie called Fury. It's a martial arts movie. They have two on Netflix. One is a martial arts movie and one is about a white girl. And I want to say they had the same storyline. But the martial arts one, the Vietnamese character, the Vietnamese based one, that looks so good because the martial arts, I love martial arts. She is whooping ass. I told y'all I love a strong female that can whoop some ass. She is whooping ass. They basically try to steal her daughter. I don't know who tried to steal it because, like I said, I didn't watch nothing but the trailer yet. And from the first time they try to grab her daughter and she goes after them, she whooping ass. They trying to get her. They sticking her and moving her and punching her nose, and she fucking them up. So if y'all want to check out Fury, that's Furie. It's on Netflix for free to watch. Now I remember there was rumors about Dumb Donald creating a space program, and he was going to call it Space Force. You know, that's going to be separate from NASA. Now I have never researched it to find out if that is true, but I do know that there's a movie on Netflix called Space Force. It's supposed to be a parody of Dumb Donald's administration and his ideas with NASA and where he's going to go into space. I haven't watched it yet, but I am going to check it out, and I'll come back and let you know. Like I say, I hope it's not too over the top slapstick comedy that I don't have that I can't deal with it.